the magic word right there when you talk about the Lyon County Extension Office and horticulture, because that's where these seeds come in. It's kind of hand in hand, right?
Right.
Okay, now tell me about so this is a real thing. We're really getting these random seeds from China.
Right. They're unsolicited packages of seed. It's not.
Oh,
which
that's
is in
another
Central
one I
Asia.
can't. Yeah, it's another one I can't pronounce. Uzbekistan.
Wherever that is, it's kind of above Afghanistan and Pakistan, that area. So they think that the purpose of them may be what a scam they call brushing, where they send unsolicited seeds to people, and then they'll go online and write fake reviews, positive reviews for themselves. But it would be a lot of positive reviews, as many packages of seeds has been received in multiple states. They've been received in Washington, Louisiana, Kansas, Virginia, Utah, Arizona, Ohio, Kentucky. So
isn't that crazy? I mean, that's a lot of. I mean, think about the work that it took to get those packages all of those places.
And the cost to mail them.
Right.
And some of them are marked as jewelry, so people will, I don't know if that's so people will open them or to get them through customs, but some of them are marked as earrings and things like that. But then when you open them up, they're packages of seeds.
Boy, what a letdown, huh?
Yeah.
You think you're getting some new jewelry, the husband's bought you. Oh, look, he got me some jewelry. What in the world is that? That would be a letdown. He got points and then they were taken away all in the same time.
And then you're mystified as to why you're receiving packages of seeds.
Well, and when you think about it, though, I mean, have we tested these yet? Have we really got?
I have. There's apparently they've not been tested. Ryan Quarles sent out an email yesterday warning people about them, and they're very concerned about people planting them. They would really like people not to even open them and definitely not plant them, but to put them in another plastic bag, airtight bag. And then they would like them sent to the USDA Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service, and they have an office in Hebron, Kentucky. There's a form that people can fill out, and then they can mail them to this address. And so from what I've seen, I went online and just looked at some different pictures. There seem to be different kinds of seed that are being sent out. It's not all the same.
I've seen some creamy white-looking small ones, and then I saw some black, bigger ones yesterday, too.
Yeah, so they can test them and grow them out and see if they're contaminated with anything. I guess they're worried about the invasiveness, to agriculture. If some of them get out there and they're an invasive plant, or if they're contaminated with something, so it's just a big unknown. So it's really best not to open them and to repackage them, and they would like the packaging too, so they can look at where they came from and trace it back. And just send them to the USDA and wash your hands after you handle them just in case.
Well, and I know, don't get me wrong, I know curiosity kills the cat sometimes. And I know there's part of us that want to plant them just to see what's going to come up. And they say, oh, what's the harm in it? Please explain to them what the harm can be in something like that.
Well, you know how we lost the American chestnut tree due to a disease that killed all the American chestnut trees. And we deal with a lot of invasive plants and insects and diseases that we're just battling all the time. So, we're going to lose all our ash trees to the emerald ash borer. So really, we really don't want to introduce more diseases and insects. We have enough that we're battling out there. And so it's better not to take the chance. We just have no idea what's in these bags.
Well, we already have so many invasive species in our area. And I joke about it all the time because Shane knows that he's my neighbor. He knows I hate this stuff, and it's purple perilla, and it's one of those blessings from a foreign country that we. I use that word loosely. But it's invasive, it's poisonous to our livestock, and it's hard to get rid of. And that's a really good example of an invasive species.
It is. We return the favor. Some of ours go over to other countries and become invasive there, too. I was in South Korea, and there is a line of perilla mint that they actually can eat. But the one that we have here in the United States has a toxic glycoside that will kill cattle. Yeah.
Well, and again, we do want to thank you for taking the time out of your schedule this morning, because I know you were busy, but I wanted to just kind of go ahead and let people know and let everyone know and kind of inform us on what we should do if we get it. Is it a hoax? Is it real? And I really appreciate you informing us this morning, because you never know when you see things online.
You don't. It sounds so strange that you think it's not real, but this one actually is.
Well, and I think the biggest thing is, if you didn't order anything and you get a package, don't open it. Just period. Don't open it.
Right. You can contact your local extension office and get the form and the address and mail it to the USDA.
And I will say, I'll take it just a little bit farther, Susan. Of course, this is Susan Fox with the Lyon County Extension Office, and that's with us this morning. And I did speak with Sheriff Brent White. And what he had to say, I said, it's been brought to my attention since the seeds yesterday, kind of popped up, that people have been getting other random things in the mail that maybe they didn't order as well. He says that he hasn't had anything brought to the sheriff's department yet, but that if anything, does come in the mail, what you're supposed to do is contact your postal service for random items. And then the seeds, of course, they need to contact the Department of Agriculture.
Right, and I would say for my county, I'd be happy to mail them for them if they would like. They could bring them to me and I'll package them and get them sent off.
I'm so glad you said that, because I would not want the responsibility of packaging that and expecting it to be done right. I'm just saying, because I would be nervous. I would just I would do it completely wrong. And I'm so glad you said that. I'll tell you what, why don't you give us your phone number so we can call and at least warn you that we're coming with some random seeds.
Okay. The office number is 270-388-2341.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you, Susan. We really do.
You're more than welcome, Tess.
Thanks so much. Of course, Susan Fox from the Lyon County Extension Office. We really appreciate her taking the time this morning just to kind of go over everything with us, because, when you see things, I see them the same way everyone else does. We all do. When you see things like that online, you never know if it's real or not. But then when I noticed that there was at least one, then another that had received them, that people that I personally know, I was like, really? So, I was kind of shocked that it was a real thing. So, and then, of course, we heard from Ryan Quarles yesterday, and that was, that really kind of solidified it. And Miss Susan, we sure do appreciate her for taking the time out to talk to us and just kind of settling all of it for us. So it doesn't sound like anything we need to really be afraid of. We just need to be cognizant of it. And, of course, you are aware that if you get a package, if you're expecting golf clubs and, you get a package of jewelry that's marked jewelry from Uzbekistan, that's probably not your golf club. So you need to treat that accordingly and send that to whoever you need to send it to at the time, and kind of take care of that, because there is testing that needs to be done. Need to kind of figure out, we all do, and I think we'd all like to know what they're for and why they're doing it, if we're ever going to figure it out. But testing will get us a little bit closer to that. So thanks again to Susan Fox. Stick around if you see. This is one that, I'll tell you, kind of surprised me. It's another one of those that I did not know, I wasn't personally acquainted with, because I'm one of those that is terrified that the alligator is going to come up from under the water where I can't see him and bite my leg. I mean, that's my personal fear. I don't know. I can't get past it. So I'll tell you, there is this wonderful place called that does scuba. And the more I hear about it, the more I hear some of the history of it. I'll tell you, I am just absolutely floored with all of it. I really am. And I think everyone will be, because this is not only is this an interesting place, but talk about stories after stories. I could have stayed on the phone with them all day. I really could have. And the very, very interesting. So stick around. Of course, not only have we got plenty of coffee talk left, and I promise you, we'll get you up to date about anything and everything everything in the area. But we've got, we're kind of fortunate this morning. We got a real treat. Pennyroyal Scuba Center, Blue Springs Resort, is going to be with us today because they're going to tell us some really interesting stories. Did you know that you could go swimming? And I don't know, do they call it swimming or scubaing or diving or what is that called? Anyway, you can do that, but with a shark, like in Hopkinsville. I had no idea. So this is what we're going to do for Stay-Cation this year. I'm hoping a lot of people, they may find a new hobby. It's supposedly really good for you as well. Stick around. More to come, and it's going to be Pennyroyal Scuba Center up next on Coffee Talk, 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Brantley Furniture.
And here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast. If I can hit the right button, and only one button at a time. 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms early this afternoon, mostly cloudy, late afternoon. So it should be clearing up a little bit. High 85 tonight. Slight chance of showers and thunderstorms are going to continue overnight. Low 69 tomorrow. 40% shot at rain late in the morning, high 86, and then on Thursday, showers are likely. Muggy, though. Listen to the high for Thursday and Friday. Kind of a rinse and repeat, rain likely both days. Highs in not only the lower 80s, but they're really expecting it not to get above 80 Thursday and Friday. How about that? Of course, you got to put up with the rain, I guess, to get that. But still, I mean, I can do that. 76 at 8:30 on the dot. 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Area are supporting the greatest comeback of all time.
Our businesses, like everywhere, have had to be flexible and creative, new ways of doing business, and they've come up with some really inventive ways, like delivery and curbside and phone-in services. And so I think things are going well, and especially as they're able to reopen. Hopefully we can gain and increase momentum to keep that going.
And again, if you need anything from the chamber, if you're not sure about relief efforts, how to apply for something, if you're not sure about where to get the masks or the thermometers, or if you need anything at all, please contact our chamber.
One of the great things about living in Todd County is that our community is so wonderfully supportive of all our local businesses. So that's been really great to see the community come together and support these folks.
The greatest comeback of all time is underway. Continue supporting local. Together, we can make a difference.
The body shop at Trice Hughes is open for business and will assist you in getting your vehicle back on the road. Trice knows your vehicle is one of the most important things you own. It's important it's fixed right and as quickly as possible. Call for an appointment or free estimate at 270-365-5522.
Trice Hughes is here for you and any questions you may have about your vehicle. Buy your next vehicle from the home team. Find them on Highway 91 North, Princeton, or at tricehughes.com.
This is Sam Meeks with Bella Marie Boutique. Thank you for voting Bella Marie as the best of Western Kentucky boutique 3 years in a row. We are so appreciative of our loyal customers. None of this would be possible without you all.
Travel in the Bluegrass with Holst Allen Watts has another busy week. Alan, where are you traveling this week?
We'll make a stop in Trigg County to learn about regenerative agriculture. Get a Southern Corn Rust update from UK's Dr. Kirsten Wise. Talk tobacco with UK specialist Dr. Andy Bailey. Learn about Alltech from Zach Poston. And meet Boyle County farmer John Hilm. That's Traveling the Bluegrass weekdays around 6 a.m. and after the WPKY Noon News Edge.
Local businesses have supported us in every regard. Now it's our turn to support them. Here's a way you can help.
The road crews clearing, the law enforcement protecting, the health officials informing. Our local heroes are paid by you when you shop local businesses. Now more than ever, it's important that we shop local merchants who provide such important sales tax revenue. As we flatten the curve and rebuild, we need you to support local life. Keep our local economy strong with our local businesses. Here today, here tomorrow, we're in this together. This is Beth Mann, President and CEO of the Edge Media Group, asking you to support local.
The Edge Media Group encourages you to support local. Be sure to post what you're doing to show your support. #SupportLocal.
Need cash fast? ABC Finance is open with social distancing implementations in place. They believe it's more important now than ever to get a handle on your finances.
Hi, this is Jody Lamb at the Princeton ABC Finance location.
And this is Todd Morris at the Hopkinsville location.
At ABC Finance, we don't just provide loans, but we also provide valuable advice to help you get your credit in better standing.
Our friendly team of professionals has your best interest in mind. We celebrate with you when your finances improve.
We encourage you to like our Facebook page, ABC Finance Company. Many of those useful tips are posted daily on our page, including tons of community info and motivation for the day.
To view social distancing guidelines and safety measures, like and follow ABC Finance Company on Facebook. ABC Finance is located off Fort Campbell Boulevard in Hopkinsville next to O'Charlie's, then Princeton and the Princeton Plaza. Apply for loans online or simply give them a call. They'll take your application over the phone. ABC Finance, all loans subject to normal credit approval.
Have you been to Big Deal Store yet? Go to WPKYOnline.com and click on Loyal Listener Big Deals. The other day, I redeemed a gift certificate on my smartphone. It was so easy. Thanks to Loyal Listener Big Deals, I found new places to eat, have fun, take the family out, and get my car fixed. With Loyal Listener Big Deals, you can save money and try new businesses. Go to WPKYOnline.com. But you better hurry. You never know how long each deal will last.
1580 103.3 WPKY. And I'm so excited, and I've been excited for days. Oh, I know I get excited a lot anyway, but they're used to it, Kris. This is Kris Tapp that I have with me this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'll tell you, they're used to me getting excited about a lot of things. And my son makes fun of me because I say I love it a lot. Evidently, that's like, evidently, I love a lot of things. There could be worse things in life, son. I'm just saying. Yeah. But, I thought this was so cool. And when I actually kind of spied it on a different ad that was on somebody else's site. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Where is that shark? They're playing basketball in it. What? Yeah. And this I thought was the coolest thing. And I really wasn't familiar with it. Of course, I mean, that's not, something that I'm actively doing a lot. I'm not scuba diving or anything. Of course, trust me, I'm scared of snapping turtles in the lake. I mean,
well,
it's not, I'm not a real brave chick when it comes to things like that. But I thought this was the coolest thing because not only is it kind of in a neat place and it's right down the road, what a unique way to do like vacation without really going anywhere. People travel thousands of miles to go do scuba.
Oh, yeah.
In all kinds of locations.
Well, what's really interesting is the fact that we have people who travel hours just to come to Hopkinsville and go diving. So, it's I had a lady call me yesterday from North Carolina. They're coming up diving with us, I believe, next weekend, and they're also touring Mammoth Cave. So they're spending their vacation. So they're driving, and of course, with the international travel being down and everything, it's hard for divers to get out and go places. So they are staying local or more localized diving areas. So it's interesting.
I thought it was the coolest thing. The more I started reading, sometimes you're reading, wah, wah, but no, not with this one. This got more interesting the more I got into it. But I want to make sure that I say the name right. Pennyroyal Scuba Center, Blue Springs Resort.
Yes.
And now is this a part of Blue Springs Resort?
Well, it's the whole facility is Pennyroyal Scuba Blue Springs.
Okay.
So, and we have camping, we have stuff like that for our divers who are coming in. They can primitive camp, and we've got a couple of RV spots where they can, if they're coming in to dive, they can plug in and, spend the weekend, exploring our 22 acres of water.
I thought that was so neat, too. I mean, this is like a whole experience, and this is, for some people, they're traveling thousands of miles to come for the vacation of a lifetime in a lot of ways when they come to this location. And it's right here in our backyard.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And that's the wonderful thing about it is not a lot of people locally know about it. I mean, I would say 95% of our business is from out of town, for tourism. We get a lot of divers from Nashville. We get a lot of divers from Lexington, from Louisville. So different places. And we do have a few local divers that come in. But that's it's just amazing the number that comes to Kentucky, Western Kentucky, just to go diving.
And you can certify people too,
Yes.
not just take them scuba and teach them a few things. You can certify people.
Yes,
right?
yeah, we offer scuba certification classes. The first class is the open water diver course. And so it teaches you all the safety skills, how to handle things, if something comes up underwater, so that, you minimize your risk.
I thought some of the things I'm going to tattle on him, I guess, but I think some of the things that you do there is really pretty cool. The shark. I thought, and I even had my daughter going, of course, don't get me wrong, she's as clueless as her mother sometimes, but I love you, Abby, but you are. So, I had her going saying, that's what I'm going to go do. I'm going to go dive with a shark. She thought it was real. She really did. The pictures of this thing, they don't look like a fake shark at all, and it's huge.
Well, Penny, which is our shark's name, actually has an interesting history behind it. Penny was actually hanging in Opry Mills. And when Nashville had the huge flood and it flooded Opry Mills, they had to go in and clean it all out and restore it and more or less rebuild the inside. The company that was in charge of doing that there was a manta ray and a shark and a couple of other things they had hanging above this little stingray petting area. And so when they took all that stuff out and took it down, it actually ended up in someone's garage and sat there for about 10 years. And then finally, I'm assuming that somebody's wife said, hey, get this thing out of my garage.
I bet they did.
And luckily enough, one of our dive shops that come up and train with us found it and was able to get a hold of it and bring it to the quarry. And it was an interesting feat trying to sink this 20-foot great white fiberglass shark because we didn't know it was full of styrofoam. And, of course, as you know, styrofoam floats.
Yeah.
And so here we go. We get it offloaded off of the trailer, get it out into the water, and we start to sink it, and it's not sinking. We even put, we have some concrete yard lions that we have 2 of them that weigh about 500 pounds each, and we have them sitting on the bottom just as, little statues for divers to look at. So we get the bright idea, we're going to hook onto this thing and we're going to pull it down. Well, when it started pulling the lion off of the bottom, we was like,
No
yeah,
way.
so, yeah, oh yeah. And it's like, no. So we had to let it back down, and there's actually a video on our Facebook page of, us bringing the shark in and getting it offloaded and taking it out and sinking it and everything. It didn't show the 4-hour blooper of us having to cut the shark's belly open.
Now, see, that's
and
what I want to
pulling,
see.
And that was kind of reminiscent of, what was it, the Jaws movie when
Right.
they was, cut the shark open to get the license plate and check.
Oh, my goodness.
We were sitting here pulling styrofoam out.
How about that? And it's old styrofoam, too.
Oh, yeah. That it is.
Oh,
but,
wow.
it was very interesting because, like I said, we spent about 4 hours pulling bags of styrofoam. I think we ended up with like 4 or 5 55-gallon trash bags full of styrofoam.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And we didn't get it all out. We went as far as our arm could reach to dig the styrofoam out, and luckily enough, we were able to get it to sink. And we have an old 1941 Dodge fire truck. And, them old vehicles like that,
right?
Them things are heavy. So we're going to anchor it to that.
Oh, it's in the water, too?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's in the water, too. And we've got the shark. We've got Penny suspended right over the fire truck. So it looks like she's in mid-water. So when you come up to it, you see it, and it's
That's like a Sharknado moment, by the way.
Yeah, kind of.
I mean, it really is. You really channeled your inner Sharknado. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
If anybody's into that at all, that is the coolest. And if the Sharknado scene doesn't, between the fire truck, now, why would you sink a fire truck?
Well, it gives, number one, it gives divers something to look at, but 2, it also gives fish habitat. So, if you see stories about them sinking old Navy ships and stuff off the coast to create artificial reefs. And so that's kind of the same thing that we do here. We have a lot of people who, they don't dive. Well, why are you throwing all that junk in there? What? to somebody's junk is somebody else's treasure.
Right.
Plus, it provides an ecosystem. It gives fish a habitat, place to hide. For
the
them
cool factor is way up there.
So and we've got a ton of things in the water for divers to look at, and as fish habitats. We've got an RV, a motorhome underwater. We've got.
Well, now, I will say, as a UK fan, y'all can play basketball underneath the water. That's what I'm thinking.
There's not too many people that can say they have played basketball using bowling balls. So
is that what it is? I'm a bowler, so
Yeah.
that now it's super. Before it was cool, now it's super cool. But you play basketball with bowling balls.
Yes, most definitely.
Now some would say that's what I do anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. When I bowl, I have a tendency to pitch them. But I think, how'd you come up with that?
Well, it's one of those things, basketballs will float. So
Right.
we couldn't use basketballs, and some bowling balls actually float, believe it or not.
Yes, they do.
But there are some that do sink. And so we have had gracious people to donate bowling balls. And, of course, we'll take them out there and see if they sink. If they sink, we take them out to the little basketball goal we got. And, you sit there and you can toss the ball around, or you can shoot hoops, whatever you want to do.
I would have never thought about that, but I bet that is the weight differential. I bet by the time you add the water, I bet that really would make a difference.
Yeah. So it's it makes it fun. When we have kids or somebody who's real apprehensive about diving, they're going through class,
like me.
And so what we'll do is it makes it easy, because you can take them to the basketball goal, and they see the ball and they sit there and they start focusing on putting the ball in the hoop, and they forget about their fears and stuff, and they start doing wonderful. And it's just like when you get done, you come to the surface. Well, what do you think about that? Oh, that was great. That was awesome. Well, I noticed you wouldn't have any more problems, and of course that kind of makes them think, oh wait, it was all psychological, so I can do this.
See, between Sharknado and the psychological factor, I'm in. I'm telling you, because I am. We talked on the phone. I said, when I was a kid, the thing that always got me about going in the water, I've always wanted. I've watched all of it on television. I'm so jealous. I want to go along with Josh on a treasure hunt so bad, but I can't do it because I'm terrified that a shark's going to eat me.
Yeah.
And if I'm in the lake, then I'm terrified the snapping turtle's going to eat me, or because the ducks used to come out of the pond without a leg. I'm just saying, when I was a kid, I was raised on a farm. They would go into the pond with 2 legs and they'd come out with 1.
Well, that's the good thing about diving, is there's not really a whole lot to see in a farm pond. So, so there's not a really, unless you're going down to, fix a dam on your farm pond or something like that, there's really not any justifiable reason, because really, in the lakes, like here in this region, farm ponds and stuff, you can't see. There's no visibility,
right.
And it's nothing. And that's one good thing about like our park that we have set up, is that it's a 22-acre limestone quarry, so we don't have like the mud and all that stuff. Only when Mother Nature sends us a torrential downpour.
Oh, it looks so pretty and blue. I said it really and truly looks like what you would think of as maybe out in the Caribbean. That color.
Yes, and it is. It's it's spring fed, so it's all natural water. Of course, we do get rain runoff and stuff like that. But, it is, and that's what we're known for, is our clarity and visibility. And, when we first, started marketing, where the difference is clear, or clearly different, as our company slogan is.
I like that.
People was like, well, it's a rock quarry. I've seen rock quarries. They're not that clear.
Not with a shark in them, you haven't.
We are the exception to the rule, generally. And, of course, like I said, we had that torrential flood in Hopkinsville a week ago Friday. And this past Friday, and we literally watched the level, 22 acres of water, we watched it rise about 6 inches.
Oh, wow.
We had that 5-hour time span, and it didn't stop. And so that kind of murked it up a little bit, and it's slowly getting back to normal. We was running about 10-foot visibility yesterday in our shallow area. Now, when you get down deeper into the quarry, of course, we have 120-foot max depth. So once we get down about 40, 45 feet underwater, it clears up, and it is probably anywhere between 30 and 40-foot visibility. It is beautiful.
So when you're talking about, really kind of mimicking what you would get in certain areas of the world if you were going diving.
Most definitely.
What is the depth factor? I mean, what is the, is that similar to what you would find?
Yes. The only real difference, especially inland, is it's colder at depth than it is in the Caribbean. So, I've traveled, several places in the Caribbean, and your average depth for dive sites is anywhere between 40 and 60 foot. And, down to the reefs and stuff, which is where you're going to see all of the pretty fish and the colors and the coral and stuff. And so, it does. The only difference here in Kentucky is it's colder down there.
I bet. So that is considered a deep water dive then?
It can be, yes. Anything beyond 60 foot is considered a deep dive.
Wow. Now, at what point do you have to get certified to go do that, or to come even to your facility and do that?
You have to be certified before you can go diving. A lot of places will not rent you equipment, will not let you go out on a boat unless you hold a certification or you're with an instructor.
Well, now, and you've got different, I call them obstacles. Because what did you sink recently? I think this is so, I think he's got a thing for sinking stuff. That's what I think. So what'd you sink recently?
Well, our newest underwater attraction is the Quarantainer. The Quarantainer is a 40-foot shipping container, and it was an idea that was brought to us from one of the dive shops in Nashville about with all the pools and stuff being closed, that they needed a platform to simulate pool-like conditions for scuba training. And of course, we have an area that's about 7 to 8 foot in depth. We call our confined area, where shops can use as pool-like conditions. And they wanted something a little bit deeper so that they could mimic the deep end of the pool. And so he brought the idea to us, hey, if I have a shipping container brought in, can we sink it? We was like, okay. So it went from just, okay, well, this is just going to be a shipping container. We're going to put it in the water and we're going to use it for students, to literally 24 hours. Hey, let's have a paint party. Let's let people sign their names on the inside, outside.
I want to start getting an invitation to your meetings. I just want to go to the meetings.
So this thing, it literally it exploded in 24 hours to this big event that to let people come in. And then literally 2 weeks, 2 weeks start to finish, we had the Quarantainer brought in, we had a paint party, and we sunk the thing. So it's just like boom, boom, boom.
It's like hey, y'all watch this.
Which I do a live show on our Facebook group page every Monday night called Monday Night Safety Stop. And for anybody who is a certified diver, Safety Stop is something that we do when we come up from a dive, just to help minimize risk off what we call off-gas nitrogen. So it's a safety thing that we do. So, when all this COVID stuff hit and all that, I was sitting at home, I was bored. It's like Monday night, hey, I'm just going to do a live cast. And so that kind of led to the point of doing this every Monday night. So
yeah, you got to be careful about doing things like that.
I know. So I featured this, the Quarantainer on on my Monday night live show. And, at that point, it was just called the Container. And so we were talking, and we had some of our viewers who was throwing names out like the Corona-tainer or the COVID-tainer and everything. And somebody had popped up the Quarantainer. And of course, there was 3 of us involved in the organizing and sinking of this thing. And we was like, Quarantainer, we like that.
You just kind of look at each other and go, oh, yeah.
So we dubbed it the Quarantainer, and now we even have, when you make a dive, you log your dives in your logbook. So we actually have a stamp that has the Quarantainer. So if you go and you dive the Quarantainer, we'll stamp your logbook with the
cool.
Quarantainer stamp.
So it's like a passport almost.
More or less. It's... There's some places that most dive parks and facilities have a stamp or a sticker, and it is. Your logbook's kind of your passport to where you've been, your experiences diving. So it is. It really is.
All right. I know the answer to this, but I'm asking him because I like it's kind of there's a cool factor to it. Just hang on for a second. You go down the street with me or in the pond with me, and you'll see it. Have you ever been involved in movies or filming or anything like that?
We actually have. We've had a few things come out. We had back in, I believe it was 2013, 2014, a gentleman by the name of Lee Vervoort approached us, and he has become a very good friend of ours, but he had approached us about doing a movie. He wanted to run a vehicle off a ledge.
Oh, well,
and
you've come to the right place.
So it was like, okay, and initially he was just wanting to run it off of a ledge onto just a rock bottom. And was like, well, that's going to make an awfully big mess. How about we do it in the water? And, of course, he liked that idea, and he was producing a movie called The Truck. So after everything was all set up, and it was pretty interesting to see, when they were filming it, they had 3 cameras set up to get 3 different aspects of this truck coming off of a high wall. And, of course, the stunt truck is still there today. We left it in the bottom just the way it landed.
You did.
And so it's still there today. And then our most recent is country artist Lucas Hogue came up last year, and he was filming for his new outdoor show, Hogue Wild, on the Sportsman's Channel. And so they come up, and I think it was one of his cameramen or somebody was getting certified going through the steps. So they filmed, the steps and everything about going, and that's another that's our most recent one. And of course, KET's been down, and we've been on an episode of Kentucky Life. So yeah, it's.
I'll tell you, I don't know how all these things are going on, and we don't know about them. That's what I want to. And here's the other one that's going to get you. You've had a politician that I think everybody knows that you trained a little bit.
Well, I can't say we trained because we're open to all dive instructors and shops. But yes, we in 2012, former Vice President Al Gore actually received his open water certification at our park.
Wow. That's what I'm saying. How are these things going on and nobody...
Yeah.
You are some sneaky people down there is what you do.
It's because it's all done underwater. That's what it is. We're underwater.
I even asked him, I said, well, now we just need to marry somebody underwater. And he goes, no, we've already done that. And I'm like, is there anything you haven't either shoved off the cliff or done underwater?
Yeah, we've had three proposals underwater that we know of. And then I actually got to assist.
Nobody's going to tell you about the ones that they said no about.
Yeah, exactly. But I actually had one wedding that I got to assist in performing. And when I say assist in performing, the minister was not scuba certified. So we had to do what we call a try scuba experience, where we taught him how to use the equipment, and then as an instructor had to go down and be right there with him as he performed this ceremony. So
See, I think that's cool. And this is the part that I really like. When you say the try scuba, explain that to me, because that would be something for somebody like me, or is somebody that says, you know what, I don't know if I can hack it or not, but I sure would like to give it a go.
Yeah, the Try Scuba experience it's I hate to say a crash course, but it kind of is. It gives you a couple of the safety aspects of scuba, as far as how to breathe underwater, ducking your head underwater, and telling your brain that, hey, you can breathe, just breathe. Getting your brain set to where you can actually go under. We can't breathe underwater without equipment, and so that's our brains tell us, when you dip your face in the water, stop breathing.
Right.
So that's really the hardest part to overcome, and it doesn't take long. Once you dip your head underwater and then you start breathing, you realize it.
And I talk to myself all the time. It would be no problem. So I've got that part. I can mark that off.
But and then what we do is we have a couple of different ways we do it. We can conduct it in a pool. Or we can do what we call a try scuba diving experiences, which is where you will do it with an instructor actually in the quarry and actually make a scuba dive or make a dive. So that's really the fun part. And of course, it depends on the conditions at the quarry if we're able to do that or not. If visibility is not great, then we won't offer that, just because there's nothing you can't see.
Right.
for the time being, we have suspended that program until our visibility gets back up, probably about another week, and we should be able to start doing those again. But the pool experience, for those who are just kind of, I don't know if it's really for me. I'd like to try just to see if I can do it underwater first. The pool experience is probably the best because it's a real controlled environment. All you got to do is stand up if you get uncomfortable. So,
there you go.
So yeah, it's a very neat program.
Well, that's on a lot of people's bucket list. That's one of those things that's on your bucket list, and you don't have to go really very far at all.
No.
To really check it off and see some pretty cool stuff.
Well, and you said that. Once you get through and you get your certification, it takes 2 weekends to get certified. You can head out that Sunday after you get your certification and drive to Florida, hop on a plane, go wherever you want to in the world, and you can go diving.
Now, see, I think that's so neat.
Yeah,
that's something that can really stay with you, too.
Yeah, it is. Once you're certified for the rest of your life, and it's valid anywhere in the world. We do train with 2 of the world's top training agencies, PADI and SSI. So no matter where you travel in the world, your certification will be recognized.
Okay, now I am going to ask him while he's here real quick, too. If you're just joining us, this has been the most interesting, cool thing. I want to make sure that I say the whole thing. Pennyroyal Scuba Center, Blue Springs. And, of course, we're talking to Kris Tapp this morning about scuba and right down the road. But what is the smallest thing you've ever dove for and had to find?
Oh, Lord.
I know you said you found a ring one time.
Yeah, well, not me personally. We get people that call us all the time. Hey, I've lost this in the lake, or I've lost this here.
I couldn't believe you found that.
And I know last year I had a lady call, and she had lost her cell phone down around Katie's there in Lake Barkley. One of the coves, and she said she didn't care about the phone. She just wanted the pictures off of the card out of it. And so I sent one of our guys, went down there, and he ended up finding it. But, we get calls like that quite frequently, especially in the summertime. And what a lot of people don't realize is, we may find it, we may not, because in the lakes or something like that, the visibility is so bad. It's more or less you're what we call braille diving. So you're just feeling. So you may get a hold of a hook, or may get a hold of this and that.
See, that's what I don't like right there. You don't know what you're going to get a hold. I can't find my cell phone in the living room half the time, let alone at the bottom of the lake.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I ask him this question, too. What's the biggest fish you ever seen at the bottom of the lake? In comparison to a man.
Now, depending on...
Because I've heard they're as big as Volkswagens down there, but people like to try to scare me about that, too. So.
Well, I try to stay out of the lakes, just because you can't see.
Right.
And, of course, I've heard the same stories and stuff, too. And, if you look at the science behind it, it's very well plausible, that especially around the dams and stuff where you've got a lot of water movement. For fish to sit down there, they don't have to move. They got food coming straight to them. So, hey, what? I'll just stay here and just enjoy life.
Does that not bother anybody but me?
Well, I like to go down to the Caribbean where I can encounter sharks.
You can see it coming.
Well, exactly, sharks and turtles. No. Oh, yeah.
See, Penny is more my speed right there. I'll come see Penny.
Well, what's really interesting is the first time my wife dove in the ocean was in Key Largo, and that was back about 6 years ago. And, of course, when we was on the reef, Molasses Reef, real shallow reef, probably about 25, 30 foot. And as soon as we get down there, I've got my camera. So I'm doing underwater video and photography. And so she gives me the shark sign. And she's sitting here, she's just going frantic because she's doing this here and pointing. And of course I turn around and I look and I see the shark swimming away. Well, here I go. I start trying to swim after it so I can get some good shots of it. And that's what a lot of people don't
you're
realize.
One of those.
Oh yeah.
My shark sign you would see me swimming away. That would be there's a shark sign.
Well, sharks are like cats. They're curious, but they don't really like getting close to you. So that's a good thing about sharks, Hollywood gave sharks a really bad name when Jaws come out. So they are completely opposite. You do have to watch their behavior, though, if you're...
yeah.
But other than that, if they're swimming, most of the times when we encounter them, they're kind of docile, laying on the bottom, just sitting there, and they're real pretty to look at. And if you ever get a chance, you'll notice on their back their skin is like sandpaper.
Right.
On their belly is just as smooth as it can be. So you can actually see that difference, and to see them in the wild is awesome.
I think seeing them on television's great. That's what you take the movies and then you come back and tell me all about it, okay?
There you go.
Well, thank you so much to Kris Tapp, and we sure do appreciate you being here today. And it's been so much fun because I think this is an alternative to people for Stay-Cation and to stay in the area and knock off something on your bucket list and really have a ball and do what you want to do, but just right here at home. And I think this is a great example of what we can do.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of different things people can do. You know, if you look at the tourism in general, I mean, Western Kentucky offers a lot of great things to do that people don't think about. You know, scuba being one of them. You know,
what a great hobby.
You wouldn't think about scuba diving in Kentucky, but hey, it's here.
It is right down the road. Tell us how to get a hold of you.
All right. Well, we do have a website, pennyroyalscuba.com. You can find us on the web. You can Google us. We're on Facebook as well. And then our phone number is 270-887-2585. So all kinds of ways to contact us. Just give us a call, look us up on the web, shoot us a message on Facebook, like us, share us, and, you know, we'll get with you.
How much fun! Of course, Kris Tapp, again, at Pennyroyal Scuba Center, Blue Springs Resort. And we sure do thank you for being with us this morning.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
It's been so much fun. I really looked forward to this for the past few weeks. So thank you so much. We appreciate it. Hey, stick around. Of course, Audrey Lamb is going to have all of your updates along with Todd Griffin. And we're going to keep you updated on the weather, which is odd for the next few days as well. So stick around. 1580 103.3 WPKY, Princeton.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Pennyroyal Home Medical. Serving Caldwell County since 1950. We're 1580 103.3 WPKY Princeton.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. Protests in Portland, Oregon, and the federal response are expected to be addressed by Attorney General William Barr during today's testimony for the House Judiciary Committee.
In prepared remarks, Barr will say violent rioters and anarchists have hijacked legitimate protests. Barr will also condemn what he describes as grave abuses in the Russiagate scandal. Lawmakers are expected to ask about the pardoning of long